Welcome back to Design Bundles YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal, and today, as promised, I'm going to show you guys how to tie-dye a white hoodie. Now, the really cool thing about this white hoodie is it is gilded, and it's actually a 50-50. So when you're done tie-dyeing this, or before if you want to with the sublimation part, because it's 50-50, it's half cotton, half polyester, you can actually sublimate it, or you can add HTV. So it's totally up to you, or you can just totally tie-dye it if that's all you want to do. But there's two different options. Once again, if you're going to use the Gildan Heavyweight, I believe it's called Heavy Blend, if you will, and they're 50-50. So like I said, you got a couple options there. So the really cool thing about the white ones is you're really going to get the absolute control over this. So today I am using black. So if I just use this black, it's going to give off these blues and green hues whenever it does its whole little magic. Or you can do multiple colors, which I'll show you a couple finished hoodies once we get done here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. A few things that you're going to need. Number one, you're going to need a blank white hoodie of your choice. And depending on whatever brand you want to use, if you want to use Hanes or Jersey or whatever, feel free to do so. So I'm using this white one right here, and I'll have it linked down below for you guys. I've got a pair of gloves to keep my hands clean here. I've got some rubber bands, and then I've got some black tie-dye. So this is a bottle here that already contains the black powder, and then all we need to do is add water. And then I've just got a trash bag here that I'm gonna use to protect my surface. Something that I actually like to purchase, I totally forgot to do it for the video. You know those pans that you purchase for your turkeys at Thanksgiving time, the little metal aluminum ones, or you could get the cake ones? I love those for tie-dye. They're perfect. And if you ever have those wire racks, which you could get them for setting your cookies on, it has the little legs on it. Sometimes I purchase that little wire rack. Like I said, it's for letting your cookies cool down. You can set that inside of it and then put this on top, and it allows it to drip off and stuff. So that's a couple different tips for you guys. And then I just either set it outside in the sun to let the sun really kind of help that process, or just set it somewhere where it's not going to stain anything overnight. So I usually let mine set overnight, and that's what we're going to do here today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the method that I'm actually going to do today is the swirl method. So there's a couple different things you can do. Once again, if you guys like this and y'all want to see a different technique besides the one I'm showing you today, if you want to see multiple colors and things like that, definitely let me know and I'll make it happen. All right, so for this swirl method, what you're going to do is you want to start from the center, and we're just going to twist it, and then we're going to add our rubber bands. Then I'm going to go ahead and open these so that way they're ready to go. And once again, I have all the supplies listed down below. Now, some of the tie-dyed kits, they actually come with rubber bands and gloves and all of that kind of stuff. All right, here, got some of those out here ready to go. All right, so for this swirl method, what you're going to do is I kind of get my hood laid out there nice and perfect here. Get my arms. And so what you're going to do is you're going to start in your center. If you ever feel like you're losing control, put it back down and start over again. So you're just going to get that center, and then we're just going to slowly start to twist it. So you're just going to follow that twist. So that's what I'm doing here. And then you're just going to start folding these in. So I can go ahead and twist these around if I want to. So say, for example, I'm going to follow this twist around this way. And then I can do the same with this arm here if I want to, whichever way I would decide I'm going to do that. And then I've got that twist going on. Trying to keep this nice and perfect. I'm trying to figure out which way I want to do these. So maybe I'll do the twist for my arms this way. All right. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. See, there we go. Okay. So let me go ahead and get this going here. All right. There we go. And you can also do your arms last if you want to, or if you feel like you've got control there, you can definitely do whatever you want to do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of twist these and get them laid around here like so. And then the same with that hood. I'm just going to kind of fold it over and get it twisted around. So basically, I'm just swirling this entire thing into a circle, if you will. Now, another way that you can do it is just grabbing knots and getting small spots, just like you would a t-shirt. Just think of it in the same way. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start to take some of these rubber bands, and I'm just going to try to get the first one on here. All right, and you just want to go ahead and get them straight up and down. So there is number one. I'm keeping these things nice and flat. All right, and so now we're gonna get in here with number 2. All right. And then I'm gonna get my next one in here. So basically, you're just going to get them at all angles. So see how I'm getting another one, and then they just kind of line up there in the middle, like so. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get another one. So feel free to do as many as you want to do. So this one right here is the most easiest way. And like I said, I'll show you a finished hoodie here in just a second. If you guys caught my live a while back, you guys have already seen this. Okay. So once again, feel free to put as little or as many rubber bands as you want to. So I think I'm gonna attempt to try to get one more in there, and you see how everything lines back up there for that centerpiece. So perfect, looks great. So now we're ready to go. So you can go ahead and check both sides there. Looks great. So you wanna keep everything kind of nice and flat, everything's nice and tight. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and protect my surface like I was telling you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this trash bag down here just to make sure I'm not gonna get ink all over my work surface. I highly recommend, if you guys purchase the aluminum pan like I'm talking about, you can save it forever. So I actually have one at the house, totally forgot to grab it, and it has that cookie sheet down in it, the little stand. You can even usually get those at the Dollar Tree, and store it. Store it with your tie-dye supplies, and you'll always have it. So here we go. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is let's go ahead and get our gloves on and then mix up our tie-dye mix. And before I get too invested in my gloves, I'm gonna make sure I can get this out of the package. Now, in this package, to my surprise, if you actually read instructions, so I totally did not. On the back of here, mine came with gloves as well as 5 rubber bands, which would be a perfectly amount for this. So if you guys purchase this one, and I'll try to have it linked down below for y'all, it comes with, like I said, 5 rubber bands, which is more than enough to accomplish this project, and the gloves. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep on going here. All right. And then we're gonna go ahead and, whoop, almost messed that up. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the top off just like this, and then we're gonna add the water, which you could just add sink water. You don't need bottled water, but obviously I'm in here in the studio. And then we're gonna fill this. And like I said, it's best to let this thing sit overnight. And then when you go to wash this, what you're gonna do is wash it by itself. Do not wash it with anything else unless you want ink on it. So the first 1 to 2 times that you wash this, you're gonna have some ink really pull out of there, and you can definitely get it on other clothing. So wash it completely by itself without soap. And like I said, do 1 to 2 washes, and then you can dry as normal. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna shake this up to get all of that powder out from the bottom. So you just wanna make sure that you have this completely mixed up. Now the really cool thing, like I said, about the black one here is it's going to make it look black and blue and even some green hues as well. So it's really, really neat. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and shake this up and then carefully remove that top piece, and then we are ready to go. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna go ahead and start to fill this in, and it may want to try to just pour down, and so what you're gonna wanna do is kind of tuck it in there and squeeze. So it's almost like it wants to just try to bubble off of here. So you wanna tuck it down and squeeze. And I wanna flip this over, so we're gonna get part of it here on the top, and then I'm gonna get the other half on the bottom. Now, but depending on the size of your hoodie, you may wanna purchase 2 of these, and you can also purchase refills. So there is refills, and this actually works a whole lot better too when the hoodie is wet. So here in just a second, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and do it now, is one way to get these to work a whole lot better is to wet your hoodie. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and I'm just going to press my water down into my hoodie. All right. So it's just gonna allow those inks to, they're gonna go further, and it's just gonna work a whole lot better. So what you could actually have done before you started this is you could actually just wet your hoodie and then twist it up, so that way it's already wet. So you could definitely do that, run it through the bath, and then just kind of wring it out really well, or pre-wash it, and then obviously don't stick it into the dryer. And so let me go ahead and add just a little bit more water. I'm trying to get it to soak up these other pieces here before it actually goes on my table. So bear with me. You guys know I'm always a hot mess. I am never the one to be to think ahead of time. So you really should wet this first, but this is truly going to help this go a long ways. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually flip this and wet this side really well. All right, get it down in there. I really want to get those sides, so I'm actually going to rotate this guy and get those sides really good. And we'll get some right in here. Just kind of squeezing that down in there. All right. I think we about got that. So I put the entire bottle of water in this thing. All right, so hopefully you can see that kind of moving around there. All right, perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna proceed forward. So I'm just kind of pushing here and there, adding this in here. You can definitely see whenever it's wet, it just kind of spreads out a little bit better. All right, and so I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over now. So half the bottle on one side, and then you're gonna flip it over and I'm gonna get the other half of the bottle on this side. So now that it's wet, it's not just kind of rolling off, so I don't have to really squeeze down in there. I can just do that on the top. So you can kind of roll your sides here. Now you see how whenever it's spreading out, see how it's starting to turn like a lighter gray and things like that? It's absolutely amazing. I love tie-dye because every single one you do is always going to turn out different. So they're all gonna do their very own thing. This side here. Get those centers. I'm just trying to pour the entire bottle on here. You definitely don't have to. So once you feel like your look is good enough, so if you want less is more, then you can definitely do whatever you want to do. All right, so just like that, once you have it done, this is what it looks like. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to set this aside and let it completely, it's not drying per se, but it's gonna work and do its job. So it's just kind of slowly flowing throughout and it's gonna do its little magic. So I like to just let mine set overnight, like I said. I even set mine out in the sun and kind of let that process do its own thing. And then I highly do recommend if you have the little cookie sheet, it just kind of helps not keep it saturated in its own juices, if you will. But once again, let it set overnight. Once you're done, it's completely been 24 hours. I cut my rubber bands off and then you're going to throw it in the wash. Once you cut those rubber bands off, you're going to see the magic. You're going to see the exact design that you created. It is just a ton of fun. Love it. Tie-dyeing hoodies is amazing. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, once again, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to let this guy do its work for 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way and I'm going to show you some finished hoodies. And there you guys have it. If you guys do the black ink like I did, you should have something that looks just like this. As you can see, I applied HTV to it, and this looks like it's store-bought. This is amazing. This is a hoodie that we did for Father's Day. We did this in a live. If you want to check that out, we'll try to have it linked down below or up above. But you can see this. It looks amazing. Now, once again, you can sublimate this afterwards because it is part polyester. So all the black ink did this. It made it look like grays and blues and greens. It's so cool. And this is that twist method. So you can see on the back side how it looks. So once again, if you're just wanting to tie-dye these and you don't want to apply HTV or anything, you definitely do not have to. But this is what using the black inks looks like. It is so stinking cool. This one is using two colors. So this one we used blue and pink, which caused it to be blue, pink, and purple. It came out stunning. I love the way this one came out. So cool. Now the way that we did this one is this one we did little scrunches. So you'll do a little scrunch, you'll take a rubber band and then you'll put it on and you'll do another scrunch and you'll do that. So you'll do that all over the entire hoodie and then you'll put it the same. So once again, wet that hoodie first and then do that and apply the ink all over. But if you do pink and blue, it's gonna make pink, blue, and purple. It's so stinking cool. So you guys can see how that one turned out like so. So this is a great project this summer for the kiddos. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to apply some HTV just to make this look like a finished product. All right, so I've got my Cricut pad here. I am using my bigger Cricut. I'm using the 10 by 12, and then I have already pre-cut out this Life is Better with Dogs. So of course we gotta make a dog mom hoodie, and I did it in white because I thought it would pop off of this nicely. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our little Cricut pad here, And then we are just going to go ahead and line up our hoodie. So I just cut this out using my Cricut Explorer 3, and I'll have the file that I use linked down below. All right, so there we have it. I'm gonna go ahead and get those out of the way. I'm gonna make sure you do. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our design, we're gonna fold it in half so that way we can find our center mark. And then we're just gonna come down a couple fingers from the top. The center of our hoodie is right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this nice and centered up. I also like to look at my pocket when I do hoodies as well. So it looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this twice. So we've got 315 for 30 seconds. That's the recommended settings for Cricut. So we're gonna press that top half and then we're gonna press the bottom. Now, whenever it comes to Cricut, they also recommend that you flip it over and press for another 15 seconds. So that's what we're gonna do as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move this down. We're gonna press it again, once again, for 15 seconds. All right, so what we're gonna do is move this out of the way. So this is actually a hot or warm pill because I'm using Caesar Easy Weed, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave the carrier sheet on. We're gonna flip it over and we're gonna press again, and I'm gonna make sure I press twice because I did have that design bigger. Now, if I was using obviously a bigger heat press, I would have probably only had to press this about 312 for 10 to 12 seconds one time. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So we're gonna go ahead, I pressed it because it's 30-second timer. I'm gonna do 15 up here and then 15 at the bottom. So as you guys can see, tie-dye is so much fun. Making these on your own, especially if you could find these and probably get some on sale locally whenever it starts to turn summertime. And this is a fun summer project because who doesn't get cold over there by the beach, or you know, if you're fishing or anything like that. This will make a great gift for somebody to personalize. So cute. All right, so let's go ahead and flip it over and peel. So stinking cute. See how that white just really popped off of the hoodie? Those colors, it came out amazing. And there we have it. So stinking cute. I love it. I have to say, I don't know if this one or the black one is my absolute favorite. You guys let me know in the comments below, black or colors. I want to know which one is your absolute favorite. Also, I want to know, are you going to try out the tie-dyed hoodie method? And if you do, make sure you guys join our Facebook community group because over there you're able to share your finished projects so that way we can check them out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.